Well, hello everybody. I've missed you, and I'm sure you missed Chemistry Cat. And here he is with his message. Chemists don't die, they just stop reacting. And so that leads us into the 5 types of chemical reactions that we are going to be covering for the remainder of chapter 9. And hopefully you've accessed your notes because there's a batch of notes for each of the different types of reactions, and we are going to be focusing on synthesis today. There's hundreds of different types of chemical reactions, but there's 5 main categories that most reactions fall into: synthesis, decomposition, combustion, single replacement, and double replacement. And it's your job to figure out what kind of a reaction that you're presented with and what the products are going to be that come from that reaction. So in synthesis, we have 2 or more simple substances reacting that are only going to form one complex compound or product. And if we take a look here, our first reactant can either be an element or a compound, and the second can be an element or a compound, and we're going to produce one complex compound. So A plus X yields AX. That is the general formula. And so here we've got sodium reacting with chlorine to form 2 sodium chlorides. Now for our purposes, if there's coefficients involved for the reactants, I will give those to you. It's up to you to figure out what the product is and if there's a coefficient that is needed. So let's go to our first example here. We've got iron reacting with sulfur. And you remember, we're only going to form one product. Now, iron is a metal, sulfur is a nonmetal. You always look for a metal in your reactants, and if a metal is present, you would write that first. So that's what we are about to do here. My pens, good. Iron, I only have 1 on the reactant side, so I only need 1 on the product side. And I only have 1 sulfur on the reactant side, so I write the 1 sulfur on the product side. The iron comes before the sulfur. You write the metal and then the nonmetal. Now in our second example, sulfur and oxygen, hydrogen and oxygen. I don't have a metal present, but I do have hydrogen. So that's what I would want to look for. If there's no metal, look for a hydrogen. I have 2 hydrogens, so I'm going to write those first. And remember, we're only going to form one product. Sulfur comes before the oxygen, so we're going to maintain that. 3 plus 1 here for the oxygens. I have 4 oxygen, H2SO4. That is sulfuric acid. So these 2 reactants come together to form one product. Here, carbon and oxygen are both nonmetals, but I do have a metal, sodium, and I'm going to write that first, and there's 2 of them. Na2, and carbon would come next. I only have 1 of those, and I have 3 oxygens. So I'm going to write CO3, sodium carbonate. In our next example, I have titanium and oxygen. Well, titanium is a metal. I will write that first, and you'll notice that there are 4 titaniums. I have 6 oxygen. Ti4O6, 4 and 6, those are divisible by 2, so I'm going to pull a 2 out as a coefficient and then finish writing my product, Ti2O3, because 2 times 3 is 6. So this is my product right here, 2Ti2O3. 4 titanium, total of 6 oxygen, it's balanced. Now over here, I've got a metal and I've also got a hydrogen, but the metal prevails. So I'm going to write the sodium, and there's 2 of those. And now I don't know quite what to do, so I'm going to form a hydroxide group. The hydrogen will go last. So I'm going to pull a 2 out. I've got 2 sodium hydroxides. It's going to take a little bit of practice. And I do have office hours that you can access and ask me questions about this. So what I would like for you to do is to complete the worksheet on synthesis reactions. You will type in the answers and submit that to me. I'll make my comments, give you